Hi. Um, Before going on a long journey, there are some things that must be done. A, on the one hand, you've got to get rid of almost all your belongings one way or another. B, on the other hand, you have to get or buy all the equipment for your journey. C, in some cases, you have to let the authorities know that you're leaving. And from my own experience, you should do that, especially if you're over 60 and you're getting some kind of state pension. They have to know that you're going abroad for a long time. And D, you have to get all your financial affairs in order before you leave. That's just a little bit of advice from me. Well, getting rid of stuff is a technical process, but it's also a mental process. Technically, what I did is I got 3 or 4, or I don't remember how many containers, and assigned each one of them for different kind of possessions that I had to do something with. So, one was what I use and wear almost every day. The other one was what I haven't used or worn even once in the past 3 months. And another one was what is in good condition that can be sold or given away. And the last one, of course, was trash, things that I would throw away. I also had I have a storage unit, so there were things that I could store that would be kept fairly in a good state. And so a lot of the things, the kitchenware and furniture that I had, I stored in my storage unit, and that's how I could get them back once I came back. Mentally, I cried over old shoes and pants that would never fit me again. My biggest emotional block was my piano. Um, my piano came here all the way from Manchester when my grandparents came to this country. It was never tuned, it was completely out of tune, but my grandmother was half deaf, she couldn't hear very well, and she used to play it all the time. Anyhow, I advertised it. I said maybe somebody would like to have it as a shelf for putting pots and plants on top in a shop or somewhere. So anyhow, a woman called me, and she was prepared to take the piano, and she actually offered to pay for moving it, which is the biggest cost expense that you have when you have to move a piano. You have to have special people who know how to move a piano. Anyhow, she took it, and not only did she take it and pay for moving it, she called me a few days later and told me that her daughter was playing on the piano and everybody was very happy. So that went very well. The car is also a big issue. And I finally got rid of it and I sold it for quite a good price. And my condition was that the car stays with me until I actually leave the country. And the person who bought it from me agreed to leave the car with me, and not only that, but he came and he took me to the train station on the day that I left, and then he took the car, so that was a good decision. Okay, just to round off this part of the video, I will say that getting rid of belongings creates more free space, which brings with it a calmness, and in turn leads to more clear thinking and making better decisions. Parallel to all of this, getting rid of stuff, I was studying at the YouTube University all about equipment that I needed for hiking and for living outdoors. And I also got into videos about camper van lifestyles and how to build a camper van and what the camper van is made of, and in general about being a digital nomad. There's a lot of very good information out there. So if you manage to stay with your head above water and just get the important bits out of it, it's a very good school, this YouTube university. As I was learning more and more about traveling, I realized I have to work out a budget for all the equipment I had to get, and especially for the camper van I was planning to buy. Camper vans are very expensive. You can't just go and get one. So thankfully, I have a job that is online. I've been working online for very many years as a teacher. And so I can take it with me wherever I go. Wherever there is internet or Wi-Fi, I can work and carry on earning. And plus that, I also own an apartment that is rented out. So I have a very comfortable income. And this income allowed me to get a loan from a bank that I could pay back in monthly payments without it becoming a financial burden. This is one of the things that you have to think about before you go abroad, how you're going to organize the cost of living. Through this whole process, I learned that my biggest hurdle at each turn that I took, and then on every subject that I learned about, was making it the actual decision. Buying that piece of equipment and not that piece of equipment. Making that hotel reservation, or even actually phoning people that I wanted to house sit for them or pet sit for them and talking to them, and making those moves. I was so scared, but you have to get over it and you have to click the button or dial the number and make that conversation, and that's how things happen. And the most amazing thing is that when you imagine it, it's either much more than you imagined or much less than you imagined, but it's never the actual thing. And 9 times out of 10, you'll find out that in reality, when you actually make the move, nothing happens. The ceiling doesn't fall, the floor doesn't open up and swallow you. You stay alive, life goes on, and you've made a decision. And sooner or later, you'll find out if it's the right or the wrong decision. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Thank you.